Hello, I'm Keith Hilson with the Schmidt Music Trombone Shop, back with another daily practice tip for you. And today I have part 3 of my series of warm-ups. In particular, how can we be more engaged with our warming up? The idea here again is that for a lot of us, warming up is a daily, a regular activity, and if we're not careful, it can become a slog. It can be a chore. It's something we have to do. And I've had a lot of inquiries from folks asking, well, how do I not make it a chore? How do I not make it something that I dread doing? Instead, make it something I enjoy doing. So I talked about in the previous couple videos some concepts that have really helped with me. Thinking about the whole process as soon as I start playing my instrument, thinking of that in terms of musicality, trying to make everything I play as musical as I can, giving it direction, giving it shape, helping to engage that musical part of myself, which makes playing my instrument so enjoyable. I talked about using variation in your warm-up routine. So in other words, knowing the large concept behind our warm-up. So what are we trying to accomplish? And then instead of doing the same exact exercises every day, using a variety of different exercises, different ways to work on these concepts, again, as a way to keep us engaged, to keep us thinking so that it doesn't just become just a mindless routine. Now today, I want to talk about kind of the third part that really made a difference for me, and it's something that's important to me, and that is mindfulness. In other words, using that warm-up time with our instrument as a way to really engage ourselves in our musicality, our musicianship, and frankly, almost to use it as a form of meditation, as a way to really help to calm the mind. For me, after all of these years of playing, playing my instrument, it's a part of who I am. And I think a lot of us feel that way. This is, for us as artists, as musicians, it's a sacrifice. There's time involved. There's pain and blood and sweat and emotional connection. It's a lot of work for us. And so it really is, in a lot of ways, a labor of love. And for me, my instrument, it's a part of who I am. I'm a musician. I'm a trombone player. This is what I do. And so for me, as soon as I go and I pick up my instrument, in the morning, and I start that routine, in a lot of ways, it's really preparing me for the day. And I use it as a way to really be able to put everything aside. So when I pick up the instrument, when I start going through my routine, my warm-ups, my process, I'm using it as an opportunity, and not an excuse, but really giving myself permission to put everything aside for 20 minutes or half an hour, and just to really become engaged in the moment. Now, I'm certainly not an expert when it comes to meditation, when it comes to spirituality. There are so many great books and everything. If you haven't already looked at some of this, it might not be a bad idea. Of course, there's a lot of great books out there talking about some of the mental processes. One of the most famous for us is the art of tennis, for example. And there's so many others out there where they talk about Zen philosophy and everything. Well, I'm not here to talk about any of that. But what I think is important, what's been important for me, is just allowing myself to be engaged in that mindfulness of it and really being in the moment. What does that mean? So when I'm playing, when I'm warming up, I am trying to think about every second of that process. I'm trying to think about this musicality we're talking about. I'm trying to think about, how are things working? How is my breathing working? Is that helping to support what I'm thinking of in terms of my sound? How is my articulation working? And really, again, using it as an opportunity to put aside everything else. Everybody's busy. There are so many problems and issues. There are so many things that can weigh us down. These are all important things for us to think about, but using this time, that 20 minutes, that half an hour you have with the instrument, giving yourself permission to put all of that aside and really just focus on something, for you. And for me, really it's about centering myself. Again, without getting too spiritual, if I don't go through that process, especially in the morning, my routine is I wake up, I go through kind of my morning activities. Usually by 8 or 9 o'clock, I've got the horn in my hand. And of course, there's times, there's days I'll take a break. I won't play. maybe on vacation, whatever it is there. But I got to tell you, it doesn't take too long, and all of a sudden, I don't start feeling like myself if I haven't gone through that process. Even if I'm not playing for the rest of the day, if I don't have any performances, maybe I don't have any other plans to even practice at all the rest of the day, just going through and spending that 20 minutes and half an hour, again, it feels like it centers me. It really helps me to kind of refocus on myself a little bit, to focus on my musicianship, and to know that I brought myself kind of, maintained again. I've kept all of these different, physical processes and mental processes active and engaged. So that way, if I have to leave the instrument for the rest of the day, I don't get to touch it, I can come back again tomorrow, and I can feel fairly confident that I haven't lost anything. I've kind of brought myself back up to my base level, and then I can keep growing from there. And so again, between these three ideas, between thinking of these in terms of musicality, between using variation to keep myself engaged, and this mindfulness, using this as an opportunity to really engage myself in the moment and really connect with my instrument and my musicianship, and help to bring all these processes together, I frankly love warming up. Because it accomplishes all of these different things for me. So hopefully, maybe there's just one little nugget, one little idea in all of these different concepts I talk about that make a difference for you. And I always tell my students, anybody I'm talking with, have you, for me, if I can see a great master class from, a master teacher, whatever their area might be, music or not, if I can take away just one little nugget, something, just one little concept that makes a difference in what I do and helps to improve what I do and improve who I am, then it was absolutely worth it. So if there's just one idea in all of these that make a difference for you, then I am more than overjoyed that I had a chance to share it with you. So as always, we appreciate you watching the video here. If you have any thoughts about this, if you have any of these warm-up concepts that we talked about, if you've had experience, if you've had concepts that have helped you, please feel free to leave those in the comments. Share them with our community so that others can learn from your experience as well, or they can provide their own insights as well. And of course, you can check us out on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. We've got a whole grouping of these other daily practice tips, and you can check all of those out as well. And of course, you can find us on social media. Besides on Facebook, we're going to be on Instagram. If you are on the YouTube channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button, that notification button, if you haven't already done so you can find out when we're putting out more videos as well. So as always, thank you very much again for watching. Happy practicing, and please keep making music.